Research shows it takes an average of 7 encounters before we trust someone completely. Damien Shaw needed only 3 to make me an accomplice to murder. The 4th encounter? That's when I discovered he was planning to kill me. But it wasn't until 73 miles from Boston, at a rest stop that smelled like stale coffee and broken dreams, that I realized trust can be weaponized. We'd been driving for an hour in comfortable silence when my phone died. "Can I use your car charger?" I asked. "Glove compartment," he said, without taking his eyes off the road. I opened it, expecting the usual car clutter. Instead, I found my death certificate. Not the actual paper, but something close enough. A leather kit containing a syringe, a vial of insulin, and surgical gloves. Underneath that, a manila envelope with my photo paper clipped to a birth certificate for someone named Lisa Morrison, born in Portland, Oregon, died in a car accident 3 years ago. My new identity. For the very brief time I'd need one. "Pull over," I said quietly. Something in my voice must have warned him because his hand tightened on the steering wheel. He pulled into a desolate rest stop with broken picnic tables and a vending machine that looked like it hadn't worked since the Clinton administration. When he saw what I was holding, his mask finally slipped. Not into anger or panic, but into something worse: disappointment. "You weren't supposed to find that yet," he said. "When were you going to kill me? Tonight, in the motel, while you slept? Quick, painless. You wouldn't have suffered." "This was always the plan," I said, pieces clicking into place. "You didn't seduce me to save yourself. You seduced me to kill me." "Not entirely. I did need you to throw the trial. But once that was done, well, you know too much now." "Why me?" His smile was almost fond. "You were perfect. No close family, no serious boyfriend. A job that wouldn't miss you for weeks. And we already had a connection. You've done this before. You're special, Sarah. The others were just business. But you're personal because you were moldable, corruptible. You wanted to be bad, Sarah. I could see it that first night. He wasn't wrong. That was the most terrifying part." We drove to a roadside motel that looked like it was auditioning for a horror movie, the Starlight Inn. Damien checked us in under the name Morrison, using her credit card. The room was exactly what you'd expect. Faded floral bedspread, water stains on the ceiling, the lingering scent of disinfectant and despair. We ordered Chinese food. Damien was charming throughout the meal, telling stories about his childhood, his dreams, our future together. As if we had one. "What will you tell people about me?" I asked. "That you couldn't handle life on the run. That the guilt finally broke you. Very tragic. I'll be the grieving boyfriend who tried to save you but couldn't." After dinner, he opened expensive red wine. "A toast," he said, "to justice delayed but not denied." I raised my glass but didn't drink. "You first." He took a long sip, then waited. When nothing happened, he gestured for me to drink. I took the smallest sip possible, just enough to wet my lips. What Damien didn't know was that while he was in the bathroom, I'd switched our wine glasses. He'd drugged his own drink. As he collapsed onto the bed, unconscious but breathing, I had my first advantage, but it wouldn't last long. I went through his belongings methodically. His phone unlocked easily with his unconscious finger. What I found made my blood freeze. Photos, dozens of them. Women who looked like me, similar age, build, coloring, all dead. Not just Catherine, Maria, and Jessica. There were others, many others. A whole gallery of victims, spanning back years. And screenshots of my social media profiles. Photos of me leaving work, at the grocery store, at yoga class. He'd been stalking me for months before the trial. I should have called 911. Instead, I called Detective Rivera, the lead investigator on Jessica's case. "This is Sarah Chen. I was juror number 7 on the Shaw trial. I have information about Damien Shaw, about other victims." I told her everything. The hotel room meetings, the seduction, the jury manipulation, the escape plan. All of it. Where is he now? Unconscious in a motel room. I drugged his wine. Don't do anything else. Units are en route. The police arrived quietly. Damien woke up as they were reading him his rights. His eyes found mine across the room, and for a moment, I saw something I'd never seen before. Respect. Well played, he said softly. Damien's second trial was different. This time, I was a witness for the prosecution. I testified about our meetings, his confessions, his plans to kill me. I showed the jury his phone, the photos, the insulin kit. The verdict was swift. Guilty on all counts. Life in prison, no possibility of parole. Two years later, I received a letter from Damien in prison. My darling Sarah, you surprised me. I didn't think you had it in you. The calculation, the deception, the cold-blooded manipulation. I'm proud of you. We're more alike than you want to admit. The only difference is that I'm honest about what I am. You're still pretending to be good, but I know the truth. You're like me, Sarah, and that will never change. P.S. I have friends on the outside. They know where you live. I moved across the country, started a new life with a new identity, but you can't outrun yourself forever. A year later, working as a paralegal in Portland, a package arrived. Inside was a single red rose and an ornate key. A reminder that Damien was still watching, still part of my life. That the truth of who I was remained a secret he owned. The question that haunts me isn't whether Damien deserves to die. The question is whether I deserve to live this free life. Whether a woman who perverted justice, who fell in love with a killer, deserves a second chance. Late at night, alone with my thoughts and guilt, I wonder if Damien was right. If we really are the same. If the only difference between victim and predator is opportunity. Here's what I've learned. Justice isn't blind. She's very much aware of who's watching, who's judging, who's deciding, and sometimes she has to take matters into her own hands. I helped a killer escape justice once. I won't do it again. But the question remains. In a world where monsters wear human faces and predators choose their victims carefully, who watches the watchers? Who judges the judges? Who protects us from ourselves? If you're ever called for jury duty, remember this story. Remember that charm can be a weapon, seduction can be manipulation, and love can be the most dangerous lie of all. Remember that justice isn't just about laws and evidence and reasonable doubt. It's about having the courage to see truth, even when it's ugly, even when it implicates you, even when it costs you everything. My name is Sarah Chen, juror number 7. I fell in love with the defendant, helped him escape, then brought him down. We're all capable of good and terrible. When justice meets love, which will you choose? Your conscience keeps better records than you think.